Hey folks, this is Ben Yessel. This is kind of more of a continuation of what we've been talking about tonight, but I think I'm going to go a different direction here. Might not say it quite as much in this video. I don't know. I guess it's, something kind of along the following lines. What is it that you're searching for? And I'm going to point out maybe particularly things in the arts, or anything imaginative, or anything in that whole vicinity. But you can also ask that question in a broader sense. What is it you're looking for? What is it you haven't found yet? What is it that keeps eluding you, or eluded you in the past? What is it that caused people to not understand that about you, and you wanted desperately for someone, to understand that about you, what you're looking for? Maybe they're looking for the same thing or a similar thing, and maybe it's something romantic or something. But what is it that we're looking for, each one of us? I can tell you what I'm looking for, but I suppose at some level I've already mentioned that in a bunch of my videos. What more can I say right now at this time of night? But it's these times of nights where I don't have to think about anything else except for my own thoughts, that sometimes I can tap into them at a deeper level in a way. I might go back the other way here, again through the dark forest. Apologize if you guys get scared, but you probably won't, because there's no demons in the forest. But hey, at the very least, the demons will attack me, not you. So, just kidding. It's just dark. That's all it is. It's just dark. But it's also very quiet. I don't want to go walk down busier roads. So, what is it we're looking for? Well, imagine if we do like the arts, or however we feel about whatever our tastes are in music, or art, or architecture, or landscape design, or gardening, or traveling, or literature, ideas, or I don't know, philosophies, music, theater, creative writing, like literature, or culture, right? Whatever it is we're looking for in all these different aspects of the arts and humanities. It's just this is like the broad things, the general things. And we signed up for a class when we were younger, junior high or middle school age, sometimes a bit younger, but starting that ballpark, especially in high school, we signed up for these classes thinking, oh man, I'm really curious about this subject. I don't know why, I just am. We only take maybe one class, or two, or three. And somewhere along the line we say, I'm not really getting out of this class or this subject what it was I was kind of originally searching for. I'm not really getting out of this video game what it was I was originally searching for. I'm not really getting out of this performing group what it was I was originally searching for. Or I was just kind of suckered into this performing group. I knew it would be good for me, but it wasn't really something I was dying to do. Or I didn't really get out of this novel what I thought I would get out of it. Or I took this painting class and I liked it so much, but I didn't really paint what I truly wanted to paint. Or I went to this different country, or these countries, and I thought I would have this experience. I was dying to have this experience, and it didn't really go that way. Or I thought this person was a certain way, online dating, blind date. Hey, just meeting somebody in real life, in a college class or something, or work or something, I don't know. So we went on a date or two and three. Didn't really think, he didn't really turn out to be the person I thought he was. Or I'm just not sure about him. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to work on myself more. I took a pottery class. Didn't quite go the way I thought it would. And you just keep going down the list. I took a comedy class or drawing or drama or some kind of musical instrument thing or composition lessons or music theory or guitar. I took I thought maybe joining the YMCA and working out martial arts or something, or sports or yoga or nutrition. I thought I'd get something out of this class. I was looking for something. I was looking for friends. I was looking for more purpose in life. I was looking to, somehow rejuvenate my life or bring it back into focus or help me remember what it was I wanted to do when I was younger, before I had to deal with all the stresses of money and bills and everything else. Well, how can I help you guys in this area? I really wish I was God to help have more a concrete answer to what are you searching for. So many times I think it's just the more we strive to be our best selves in terms of character, the more these things kind of seem to solve themselves. But I'm kind of going off faith here a little bit too, because there are times when it doesn't really seem that that's the way things are going to be. Or we say, we're good enough. We should be people that are good enough for us, right? Or we say, things will work out, right? Do they always work out? To say things will work out is also a statement of faith in a way, but it can be a little bit How do you know something for sure when you don't know something for sure? Well, it comes back to feelings, impressions, emotions. What drives us? What gives us purpose? What gives us courage? To say that we're a certain way, to define ourselves. When someone asks us, so what kinds of things do you like, or what do you like in some way? To be able to give a good answer to that requires that we know ourselves. But how do we know ourselves? Well, it has to do with time for introspection. It has to do with trusting feelings we have inside ourselves when we ask ourselves these questions, but in a way that doesn't always involve words, these thought words thought out. But you have to know yourself, and you have to come to know yourself better over time, and you have to say, I just walked through this is looking at that area is a little shadowy in the back there, and in order to say that nothing bad was going to happen, I had to say, this is how I understand the world to be. And because I'm just going to walk through this darker area, the road, and nothing's going to happen, I had to say to myself, nothing's going to happen. Or if anything does happen, I'm ready to deal with it. You have to say that. It's harder to do that when you're about to confront somebody that's been a bully to you in some form or another. Even an adult bully, it doesn't always involve physical violence. That's really hard, but you have to say to yourself, I know it's going to happen, or maybe I don't know what's going to happen, but I know if I stick up for myself in a certain way, that person will recognize what I'm saying and will either back off, treat us differently, or whatever it is, however they'll treat us, he'll know that we stood up for ourselves. I know I've stood up for myself before. It was freaking hard. I haven't always won, so to speak, every little whatever, but that's not important. I think the important thing is that you stand up for yourself. The important thing is that you understand yourself. The important thing is that you don't shy away from things. The important thing is that you keep asking yourself, what am I searching for? And you keep after it. That's the important thing, right? So if you have hundreds of classes you're taking, whether it's junior high, high school, college, or whenever, after college or grad school or whatever, I imagine you probably have found a career that works for you. And if you haven't, you've found a few that works for you. Or if you still haven't done that, you know at least that you're semi-interested in a few things. There are some people that don't want to do anything. We call them welfare bums. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Sure. It's nice not to have to do anything until you want to shoot yourself, right? It's always a question of, how much money do you have to do things that you want to do? If you don't have enough money, you have to earn that money. How do you earn more money? But it's, in my case, because of what I know about myself at this point in my life, I know what I don't want to do, and I know more how to get to where I want to be, somewhat, and I can look professors in the eye and say, you just know more. Gosh darn it, man. Everybody's so cryptic these days, too. Nobody's willing to, not many people are willing to tell it like it is. Really. Not many people are because I mentioned this before. A lot of people are full of crap. And so, you get a little bit older. Not always. It could be when you're younger, but it's good to notice when people are full of crap. Sometimes you can misjudge that. Well, it's good to notice these things because we don't want to be misled. Now, you can have people that wish the best for someone that maybe don't always see things super accurately for somebody. It's all, we do a lot of observing. But we can't open someone's cranium and say, hey, there's the future electrical engineer there, or there's the future comedian. We can only observe. We can only have people make observations about themselves. Sometimes there's somebody that we meet in life that's just extraordinary in some way. And they can really help us to say, oh, I do want to do this thing. Yeah, absolutely. I had such a great math teacher when I was in elementary school. He was my homeroom teacher, Mr. Lindbergh. He was so amazing. It's like for a while, I want to be, I don't know if I ever said I want to be a math teacher, but at least I said, oh man, I'm good at math. I was good at math up until I got to calculus. Right? But I was good at arithmetic. I was really good at arithmetic. I was pretty good at the other stuff. And I was always curious about geometry, but I was good at arithmetic. I was. And I remember those times very clearly, and I remember how much I liked Mr. Lindbergh. And I also remember how much I liked social studies when I got a little bit older, starting about 5th grade-ish. And, I had, Mr. King and Mr. Payne, which also, he was my cross-country teacher, or coach, when I was in high school. I remember those times. And I said to myself, maybe I should be a social studies teacher. But public school teaching was not for me. But I still retained my interest in different nations of the world. And I remember a time when I was interested in architecture as well, but at the same time as social studies, I remember all that stuff. I had Mr. Coker as a band director. And then Mr. Harrington, and also like this British guy in a summer band once. Mr. Bradford, I think his name was. And Mr. DePilatus after that, and Mr. Kleppel, and then back to Mr. DePilatus. And then went to college, studied music, because I was like, oh man, this is my strongest area. This is what I want to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do in music. Specifically, I was like, oh, I'm going to be a band director, right? Orchestra, broad emphasis or something. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to. I've been teaching private lessons ever since college and doing a few other things, but music composition and theory is still my strongest area. And I can write what I want to write unless I'm doing some other kind of thing like film is different, film scoring. But when you're doing your own stuff, and it feels great. It really does. And avant-garde stuff is just meant to stretch your imagination, kind of stretch what you can do. Basically, stretch what is possible, the possibilities. What is possible? That's always, that's always the thing with avant-garde music. It's just, then, if you just don't find it very tasteful, well, okay. But it's always good to be aware of that these different kinds of music exist. Because it is about the possibilities, isn't it? You get bored with Mary Had a Little Lamb. People get bored with Mozart in college. This is what always happens with, music students in college. They get bored with the music that's assigned, and have to either stick with it and just have the whatever tenacity to just deal with the music that's been assigned by the professors, or they, say, no, they quit college for a bit or something if they really hate it. Or they just, whatever it is, you get people with these, everybody has a musical taste. And then the joy of being able to play in a jazz band. Yeah, or if you like that stuff a lot. Or getting into an orchestra that's really good. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Beefy string section. And good winds. Everybody plays in tune. And sometimes you don't always know you're playing in tune until you know you're playing in tune. And sometimes on occasion you play a little bit out of tune and you have to be reminded to play in tune. And then you ask yourself, oh, do I want to have somebody say that nicely, or is it always the case that people say that a bit more directly and you get more advanced groups? That's another thing too. And then do you want to be playing your instrument for hours and hours a day, or do you want to do something else? How seriously do you want to play your instrument if you're a musician? How much do you want to spend time trying to look for new students? How much do you want to do this or that or this or that or this or that? And it's all a question of what you want to do, and you only have so much time in the day. And so it's just like, maybe we can't always do everything we want to do in this life. Maybe it's impossible for some of us. But it's the searching, and it's like, when things are jiving more with what you want, how you want things to be, and when things aren't quite right. And it's just a question of how cool you are with how things are. And it's a question of what you can do at the present. And it's just, it's like, it's so easy for many of us to feel overlooked, to feel ignored, to feel lonely still. And even if you don't feel that way, not at all, really, or not very much, there's always questions to ask. But if you truly have everything you want in life, you're not searching for anything, even if it's some idea or some far off thing, right? If you truly are happy with everything, then at that point, you help other people try to find what it is they want, right? Or if you don't do that, what are you doing with your life? Well, hopefully maybe you get married, raise a family, whatever it is. It ultimately comes back to what you want to do, right? What do you feel like you should be doing? There's some people in life that all they can do is try to find food to eat, to live. And other people, bulldoze nice looking places to build a gigantic, huge skyrises, and they eat crab salads, and they're decisions they make that affect millions of people. And I can get into how the world's not fair and stuff, but all I can say is, hey, it's a free world. I can put this stuff out on YouTube for you guys to hear. And I'm starting to feel maybe a little bit generic in a way at this point, what I'm saying, but maybe it's about time in this video for me to sound like I'm making more of these broad statements. But if we stop asking the question of what we're searching for in life, if we stop asking that question, well, that's not good, right? But more importantly than what we're searching for, or just as importantly, is what are you not searching for, right? What do you not want in life? And if there's some things going on that are neither of those two things, they're not something you're searching for, but they're not something that you're not searching for, all kinds of people are going to give you all this stuff. They're going to want to take up your time. They're going to want to mess up your way of thinking a little bit. And so screw them, Back with that. Unless you actually truly do feel great around those people. There are a lot of people that are taken advantage of in much more severe ways than I've been taken advantage of in life. And I just, there will come a point in time when God will judge everybody. And no, people that take advantage of other people for evil reasons, I cannot, and they don't change their ways, it's gonna, But yeah, there are people that take advantage of. There are people that are taken advantage of. So we should not be taken advantage of. But we don't always know when we are being taken advantage of. If we have sides to our personalities where we can be more trusting or naive, well, it just comes down again to those questions. What do you want? What do you truly want? Do you have the courage to say what you want? Get out of bad situations. That's what it comes to. Parents that are righteous, parents that are good parents, people that are good people, are trying to look out for people that are being preyed on. Again, this is one of those good versus evil things in life. There are people that are predatory people, and there are people that are not. There are wolves and there are sheep. If the sheep are eaten or whatever, we can get into Christianity here, I know a little bit, with, scriptures with Jesus and stuff, but the thing is if we are good people, we'll be looking out for people that are going to be taken advantage of. And we're going to be protecting them however we can, the best that we can. We're going to identify who the wolves are, and even if we keep messing up, or even if there's a lot of things that are still bad that happen in the world, we're going to keep doing our best, and that's the way to be. And we don't want to be wolves ourselves to the least degree, because if we are, it doesn't matter what we think we win or we think we get in life. When we die, we're going to have all that bad stuff come right back at us. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be worse than anybody could imagine. None of us want to be those kinds of people. I tell you what, I don't mind walking around the rest of the evening. I'd rather be out here when it's cool than my hot house that's not air conditioned. But no, it's just the way things are right now. It's why if I want to move away bad enough, I can do that. But it takes a lot of planning. But at least you guys get to see this awesome neighborhood I live in, or at least a little bit of it when it's dark, when I can actually get myself out the door to do these kinds of videos. Anyway, talking about sheep and wolves here. Yeah, actually I have been around sheep. I've been and farms and ranches with sheep. Sheep, if they like you, they like you. And they'll just follow you around. That's the way sheep are. When someone says somebody's a sheep, all you guys are little sheepies, right? You just follow people around. A sheep is not if a person is called a sheep, right? A sheep is not necessarily bad or evil or detestable. It's really not like that at all, but a sheep can be easy prey for some. So obviously you want to protect kids, but when it comes to people that are more trusting or potentially vulnerable in some aspect, they're potentially vulnerable, and I'm potentially vulnerable. I've been taken advantage of. I won't get into how, but yeah, I've been taken advantage of financially before, very much so, and it can happen to sometimes some of the best of us. But so how do you become a wolf, or how do you become not a wolf? You don't want to be a wolf, but how do you become, I don't know, a tough sheep? How do you become more of a wise sheep? I don't know if you want to use a different animal in this context. A bear. How do you become a lion? I don't know. It sounds a little bit corny in that respect, but how do you not be a sheep? Well, sometimes it takes life experience, but sometimes it takes research, and sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it takes strength in numbers. And so I do believe no man is an island. But if any person, it doesn't matter how much you know, it doesn't matter how wise you think you are. Just count on this being the case that God is, hypothetically speaking, the only entity I can think of that really, well, what I'm trying to say is all humans, we all need each other for help or advice on some level, in some respect. And whatever little advice we can give, whatever help we can give, that goes a long way. And if we can't figure everything else we can't figure this all out on our own, we can try, but we're not going to get it all right. It's virtually almost impossible. Even for someone with an IQ of 180, they can be the best at everything. They can have a phenomenal career, and all it takes is just, the question of what is the meaning of life, or gnawing at some area of their soul that it feels empty, and they break down like a little kid and they start crying. Yeah, that's all it takes. To have that person realize, oh, I actually need other people. I can benefit from other people, their advice. So sometimes I think what we're searching for is not always something that just involves ourselves. I do believe that it does involve other people, but I don't think we always know what it is specifically. This is part of the crazy thing about life, and we might not figure it out in this life, but we have to at least be humble enough to say, I don't know everything, and I have to just say, what do you want, God? Or what do you want, universe, right? If you believe in some other cosmic entity that's kind of like God, but not really, you have to surrender yourself to the universe and say that, whatever your thinking is that way, we have to come to a point where we say we don't know everything, or we have to keep searching for it as we want more in life. Okay, I'll leave your thoughts, comments below. Catch you guys later.